It's important to be very careful when discussing a topic related to addiction treatment because there is no one size fits all approach, and what works for one individual may not work for another. And treatment centers do play a crucial role in addiction treatment, especially in severe cases.
Sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor. Call.
6 figures a month.
Yeah. The other side I've seen is seeing people that are in the industry working and sober coaches and whatever, and then bringing clients to meetings. And, from my conversations, I've seen people go out because they think they're working. The person that's the sober coach thinks that they're working their program. They're getting, they're getting paid to go to a meeting. They're working their program and then also bringing a client along, you know what I mean? And so they've gotten it twisted where that's like they're on the clock, they're working. That's not them working their program.
Yes. They get to have it both ways where they're like, man, this is great. I get paid to take care of my recovery, but they're not so much taking care of their recovery. They're working. And yeah, the sober coaching is a whole nother deal. I mean, I know there are benefits to treatment centers. It's troublesome that there's no oversight and that there's 150,000 of them all over America, and that it's troublesome.
I mean, listen, I know for me, to be really honest, I think I would have difficulty being in that world.
Working in that world? Yeah,
I think that I would get it all twisted, as I've seen other people get it twisted. It's so alluring, I think, the money and I think it could be so alluring.
1,000,000%. I mean, that's definitely happened to me where I've seen it happen. I've had so much judgment and then been out of a job, and then somebody approached me and I'm like, how much can I make a month? Wait, what? And I did do it one time for one client, but the person wasn't trying to get sober. Their daddy had a lot of money from movies and TV shows, and they didn't want to work and didn't want to be alone. So I was just
like
sitting
a companion.
I was sitting in Santa Barbara at a beautiful place, steps from the ocean, and having expensive dinners, and I was miserable. I think I got paid $3,000 for 2 days just sitting in Santa Barbara.
Wow.
And I also said, you can keep your money. Like the lowness of the vibration of energy was too hard on my soul. I just wanted out of that house so bad.
Yeah. Energetically, I mean, that's a whole different, it's a whole different level of engagement. It's, the vibration and the energy, it's really, can be really taxing.
Brokers, I think is what they call them. And they wait outside of AA meetings or treatment centers and go, hey, like, we'll give you $2,500 to need a bed again, and it encourages them for relapse. And one guy was like, yeah, I've been to 25 treatment centers.
Yes. Yeah, there's actually a movie, I saw it. It's called Body Brokering. I think there's
really
been a few. Yeah, there's one that's called Body Brokering. It came out, I want to say 2-3 years ago, and it's literally that, paying people to entice people that are already in treatment to use because their actual insurance is running out. And so there was a whole business around the business, which is like so sickening to me. I have a few friends that knew friends that were, when they were in treatment, that ended up going out, some who didn't make it back in, some who passed. I mean, it's a whole another industry around the industry. And I think that, thank goodness that there is no profit motive. There is no fees, associated with our program, the 12-step program, because there is a lot of room for shadiness.
Exactly.
And, corruption.
Exactly. And that is my biggest problem with treatment centers, is that families who are looking for help and have concern and want to help a family member, and everybody just assumes I have to find a treatment center if I really love and care, and I have to spend more money if I really love and care about this family member.
I met with a guy this week that's really into these financial terms, and I don't even know what it begins with a V. Anyway, it's this thing of like, the more expensive things are, people think the more valuable it is,
Right.
And so it's like, the more expensive the recovery, the more expensive the thing, it's like it becomes a brand, right? That they're buying into this brand that's supposedly science-backed, or whatever those words, those marketing terms that are being used. But actually, it's just not, there's no guarantees.
That is why I wanted to do this episode so bad. And just for my own peace of mind, like, at least it's documented somewhere.
Yeah.
Sam and I said it, that it is an option to just walk in the rooms of AA if you're the garden variety alcoholic, and it's not a requirement that you go to a treatment center before you walk in the rooms. I walked in the rooms way early. That wasn't a thing. I've been here since the day I walked in. Not that relapse is bad and it's part of the thing, and I judge to balance my work life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so glad you brought up this topic. I think that that's my experience too, in the sense of there is a distinction between a treatment center and a 12-step program. They are not affiliated with each other, and that recovery is possible without treatment, going through a treatment center, and that, it's God, yeah, it's like, okay, so it's like, what is one key takeaway that there is recovery that doesn't need to be through a treatment center? Is that, would you say, the biggest takeaway from this?
And it wasn't really an option. I also want to make sure people know today, you can still just walk in the rooms and it's not a requirement.
There was something that came into my brain and has since left the station, and I thought it would just slowly sneak back in there, but it's really left the station.
It's all good.
It's all gone.
What about you?
What about me? I guess my key takeaway is that the program is the program, period. And it's, the meetings, it's the fellowship, it's the steps, it's all the approved literature, and that it has, because of the advent of treatment centers and this whole paid scenario, it's really shifted a lot of things. I think the one thing actually just came back to me is it's also changed the language in the rooms. Where there's a whole relapse prevention, like writing down like all my triggers, like I didn't really, that wasn't a step. It's not a step. And, it kind of reminds me of the self-knowledge part when he went to the doctor, that story, went to the doctor, figured out all his triggers and, was drunk again within a week or whatever that time frame was. It's like, it's not a knowing, right? So when I hear someone share like, yeah, so we did our, relapse prevention plan, and we have a plan and we wrote down all of our triggers, I'm thinking like, this is in the book. Like, you know what I mean? And so like, this is what you're paying for, which is already like documented in the book. They went to the doctor, they got he did a full plan, and then was drunk. And he also did hire somebody, in the book, right? Like, or there was thought of hiring somebody to keep him sober, right? unless you get locked up.
Right. I mean, it's like it's like a prenup for a marriage. If you spend 2 years focusing on your prenup, you're really preying on this clickbait because you know that all these moms, spouses, sisters, brat.
For you and your higher power. And I'm just kind of here and get to share what my experience is. Thanks, Misty.
Thank you, Sam. That was great.
Call your sponsor.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor. Call your
New episode tomorrow. Send us an email, bcysponsor@gmail.com.